Now it's my pleasure to introduce two of our own, Susanna Navarro and Lena Shatara. They're going to talk a little bit about some of the projects we have overseas.
Thank you, everyone. It is a pleasure to describe to you the project, the Orbit project. As you all may have heard already, this project got started when Towns and I sat down and said, okay, why don't we try to adopt this orphanage in Kenya that I've been supporting for a long time? And she did some more research and all her tenacity allow us to actually identify another orphanage that is actually in Kenya that could have a partner Rotary Club. And it happened to be also that this Rotary Club was founded and grown by a local individual that is I admire very much for all what she has done, Cindy Waters, and is now fast forward from that time to having a very successful project, and we recently, as you know, received the international first place for International Service Award, and for the Orbit Village project for our club. So congratulations to all of us. We're very excited about this. So I would like to now describe the project. The orphanage it's a school and an orphanage, and it has 81 kids in the orphanage and 430 students in the school. They also support the local community and have several local women working at the orphanage. It was founded and managed by Cindy Waters, and she's from Sevierville and has ties to the Knoxville community. So when we were going to make a trip to Kenya to visit the orphanage, Towns and Bob had already gone, and I was planning to go, and I have a group of friends that goes together to different international projects, international destinations every year. So I tied it together with that group. So you can do that too. You can bring friends Lena is part of that group. And so we got about 12 people together to go and visit. And Lena and myself from our club, but also Sam Bishu and his brother and sister-in-law, and sister Jasmine and Tom. And they are actually Susan Dacax secrets from our club. And so that's the team that went with us to the orphanage, to visit the orphanage. And there were other people with us, about 12, but I could not convince them to come with us to the orphanage. There's this sense that going to an orphanage is a sad experience. It couldn't be further from the truth. And so you can see from here the warm welcome you get. So from the time you arrive, you get a sense of the love that you have in this orphanage and the happiness. The kids are very well taken care of. Okay, where do the kids come from? We actually drove through Kenya and through Nairobi, and we got lost, so we actually ended up seeing some of the places where they come from, and then it's very, very poor slums near Nairobi in the outskirts. And the orphans come, either some of them are abandoned and due to poverty, some are orphans. There's a mix of religions, and they include Christian and Muslim, and they all, regardless of religion, they work in harmony. It's a very, very nice place. So when we started the project, we listed all of the needs that the orphanage has, and then prioritized them. And it started with the things that were the most pressing. It included, you can see the status of some of the classrooms before, and then they're renovated. You can see the ones before with the floors with holes, and they were in bad shape. But you can see the renovated classrooms. And so we renovated 10 classrooms. Also, the roof was leaking. It was in very bad need of repair, and the roof was replaced. More importantly, the pavers. And it was $51,000 for those pavers. But when we visited, I asked one of the kids, so I see a lot of changes. What are the things that you feel like have the most impact for you? And one of them said the classrooms, but the other one said definitely the pavers. And I said, why? And they mentioned when they were trying to be playing around or were running, they could hardly see, they could hardly breathe because there is so much dust everywhere. It was just impossible for them. And now you can see they have a space where they can actually have a normal school experience with a normal life. So it's a very impactful project, and we were very pleased to see. You know, it is such a big school that there was so much favors that had to be introduced. So those are the projects that we have completed. And now I have it here, the ones that we are getting started to work on. And they include, we received the good news that we have received a grant, a $20,000 grant, and the grant is going to be used for updating the library and the laboratory. And so the library includes also an 8th-grade classroom, the floors, repairs, painting, and then painting the entire campus. So it's exciting. We continue. There is a lot of need, and we continue working on this. And let's have now Cindy describe it.
So we break the roof. We're going to paint it, fix it up, and everything. And then we've opened up and doubled the size. So we'll have like a puzzle room, a game room, a quiet reading room. So just again, the library will be twice as much as it was. I think this will be really exciting.
Okay, so that's the library, and that's as we speak, they are getting started to update that library. But there is still a lot of need, and a list of the needs that are still, you can see here, the kitchen, in there, that's the kitchen, in very, very bad need. That's, I think, the next priority, because it's really not a kitchen. It's just dirt, and they don't have anything in that kitchen. So we are going to work, that's the next target, to upgrade a kitchen. There is a lot of need for renovations in the boys' orphanage, which is called the Joshua House. There's also a need for well and water tank for the boys' orphanage. And the clinic needs to be furnished. We need to provide hot water and electricity. So there is, you can see, we have done a lot, and we need to be proud of what has been done, but there's a lot to be done still, and there's a lot of need. We are making a significant impact on people that really, really need it. In addition to the renovations, there is other aspects of support that we have successfully performed, and that is still an opportunity for any member that wants to participate. There is, you can actually adopt a kid from the orphanage. We have adopted 7 from our club. And that's an enduring support for the children. You can see there, I'm there with my adopted children in the left. And then in the middle, you can see Bob's adopted child. And we also, as you may recall, we ask for all of you to do donations for the baskets, and we harass you, Taos and I make sure to harass you. We successfully got a lot of all of the baskets that we needed, and they were donated in December, and it's greatly appreciated. It made a big difference in so many families, and I really appreciate your donations. We also work, the whole club worked really hard to donate books. And you can see on that picture, those are the books that came from here, you remember. So, and they are very well appreciated, and we can hear the thank you from them.
And say the book.
This book was received from Rotary International, the Club of Knoxville, and we say to them, thank you so much. It will be of great use to our children who are from the underprivileged environment, and we believe they're going to transform their learning and reading culture. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. And then I would like to, I would like to introduce Lina to describe our experience there.
So, this is how you can tell how happy our kids are. They're very happy kids, and all this really truly thanks to Cindy Mars for giving them that experience and all the education that her and I believe the lady there with the yellow skirt that you've seen her earlier, her name is Victoria, and she is my godsend. Cindy Waters loves her. But anyway, they're just happy, as you can see, wonderful kids, very appreciative, very positive. Oh, here, this is actually us dancing. So we decided to join and take fools out of ourselves, but we managed to do They're really wonderful kids, and they're so inspiring, and they have such aspirations in life. If you speak to many of them, they all just have really great visions for the future for themselves. What do we have next? This is, I guess I come to you here from a travel experience, if you will. There is so much, I mean, just, you know, you're not just going there in the future to visit this orphanage. There is this once in a lifetime mesmerizing experience that you get to see all these animals in their natural habitats. And they're just, honestly, there is nothing like it. It's like a dream. It's like, really, if you've ever been, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was never on my bucket list. I don't know about you, but it was just something that when Susanna and Sam mentioned it after Town's pressing go, go, go. And we thought, you know, it's just never really been on my bucket list, but why not? So we decided that this would be our next destination, and boy, were we happy. It was just everything that you see and more. Cindy Waters, as a matter of fact, she does offer photography safaris. And so because she's a photographer in her profession, in her nature, and that's her, her passion. And so she does offer, so if you decide you want to go, which brings me to, again, to the influence of towns. We are going next June or July or early July 25 to Nairobi again, and would love to have about 10 Rotary members join us to visit the orphanage and have a hands-on experience for about 3 days. But you don't have to rough it, really. I mean, there's so many options, unless you really do, but there's so many options. And again, the experience is just quite amazing. But it would be great to go and see the new renovations and how long they've become in a year, every year. Let's see, this is kind of the itinerary that we had. In February, we arrived into Kilimanjaro late in the evening, and we visited next day Arusha and the Ngorongoro crater. Just to give you a little background about the Ngorongoro crater, it is a volcanic crater, and it was actually declared a UNESCO heritage site in 1979, I believe. And what it is, it's about 2,000 deep. And with that being said, the actual wildlife who live there don't get out and no wildlife comes in. So they're there. And it's really amazing. We get to see so many animals, from warthogs to hyenas to zebras to elephants, tons of elephants, and especially the cutest ones are the baby elephants. You just want to pick them up, but you can't. We saw so many. We saw so much. Like, I can't even think. I mean, there were so rhinos and hippos and just so many to name. Wonderful experience. We stayed there about 3 nights, and then we head off to Nairobi. We flew over on Kenya Airways, and that was interesting, and it was good. But actually, the airport was really good in Kilimanjaro. We had fun, and we all got into the lounge, into the club lounge. That was really a great experience, really. Anyway, so then we visited next day the Orbit village. And again, not all of us went, but boy, are we happy. Honestly, I wish we had more time. We only had about 2 hours, but they had a jam-packed program for us. I mean, they've been so excited for us, all these kids, that they have been training for events and different programs and dances and productions for like months. And so they just, what you see, I mean, and of course, as Susanna said, we got lost. And so they have been waiting by those gates for like hours. And they're so excited, but yet, like, that didn't even slow them down. Once we arrived, like, we thought we were royalty. You know, that's how they treated us. So that was really, they're so uplifting. And then we did rough it on this trip. Actually, we stayed in really luxurious 5-star tents. We had an excellent experience. We stayed in the Masai Mara game reserve. We actually stayed on the camp, in the game camp, and it was just, and so we were having morning and evening game drives, and again, the animals, I'm sure you've heard of the big 5 animals, the leopards, the lions, help me out, the elephants, hippos, and one more, the
zebra, leopard, lion, rhino, elephant,
buffaloes, yes, buffaloes. And so anyway, an experience of a lifetime to see. I think I've covered it all. We have some pictures. Oh, this is actually where we stayed in the governor's camp. We were in their habitat. I mean, so the place is theirs. We were actually eating breakfast when these elephants just passed right by us. We were having breakfast like right here, and they're just passing by us. And at one point, actually, Susanna and Elsa were still in the room, and they were in the tent and they could not get out because the elephants were there. So, Susanna didn't get to eat breakfast, that day, but the elephants did. So, and then where we stayed, actually, it was overlooking the Mara River, and we can hear hippos all night. As I described it to everyone, like our protection was a zipper, really. But we had these guards outside our tents all night, all hours of the night, but we always felt safe. So, and again, the experience. This is in the group prayer. Let me go. This is Susanna, her experience climbing Kilimanjaro. And then she can tell you all about that. I hear that she wants to do it again and go all the way to the summit. But it's not something I would do, but she went actually ahead of us to about 3 nights extra, her and Elsa, and they did it, and they said it was, again, an experience like no other. And again, as we said, next year, if you'd like to go on your own, you'd like to go with us, you can do it with Cindy and have a photography safari, or at any time you should go, for sure. And I think this concludes. Here's Susanna.
And I just want to encourage everybody to really think about coming and visiting and getting involved if you want to adopt a child. You know, there are so many ways to get involved. And also there is an opportunity. I think somebody did a calculation. If all of us do $20, we're able to finish all of the renovations that are left. So I encourage everybody to get involved, and you will be hearing more from us in the future. And thank you.
Their enthusiasm is just magnetic. It's amazing. Next week, Bob and I are going back to the orphanage, and I'm taking my daughter. She's a music professor. And I asked her several months ago, well, honey, you're a music professor. Could you run a music camp at Orphanage? Because Rachel knows that children who are exposed to music do much better learning in school, right? And she just said, okay, Mom, I can do that. So Bob and I are taking 100 recorders in our luggage. And she's going to run a week-long music camp. At the end of the music camp, I guess the ambassador is coming, and there'll be a lot of hoopla, because they're really good at hoopla. And so that's what we're doing in June. June, July are good times to go. And we're anxious to see, and all those boxes of books that you saw were the ones that we collected at the district conference. You know, the person that packed those boxes and got them shipped was Susanna Navarro. And I mean, it was $5,000 to ship them. So thank you, Susanna, for making that a reality. The project that I think Rob Dansero wants the whole district to be involved. And the plan, I think, is for we have about 3,000 members in the district. If every member of the district contributed $20, or each club collected $20 per member, that would give us almost $60,000. We could finish with the district grant all the renovations that are desperately needed. So it's very exciting, and Rotary is the most phenomenal organization. Thank you.
We do have a few minutes for some questions as well.
I do want to thank Towns for all that she has done. I can't tell you how much she's done for this orphanage, so thank you, Towns.
Are there any questions? I have one. So with these kids, when they graduate from the school and still live there, what are their next steps? Yeah.
They get jobs. When they finish high school, they either go to college or vocational school, and many of them go into the tourist business. And there's a whole variety of ways, and there are also about 5 or 10 of them that work at Orbit afterwards.
And in fact, one of my adopted kids actually is a college student. So you can actually adopt somebody that graduates from the school to go into college.
That's the one that Bob is sponsoring. You don't adopt them, you sponsor.
Yeah, you sponsor them, yeah.
And then the child, and it costs about $1,000 in general a year to sponsor a child. These children, they grew up in slums with no water, nothing. And it changes their lives. And an educated Kenya population will make all the difference.
Any further questions?
I saw on your slide that 2 of the projects that are needed are hot water and electricity.
Yes.
Do they have no hot water, no electricity? Is that?
It's pretty much that way. They don't have electricity.
Okay.
They have cold showers. And you all can hear me now. So, the hope is in the future that this will happen. They need boreholes. They need 2 more boreholes. The kitchen is a disaster. I don't know how Cindy feeds them. The woman that runs this, if y'all don't remember, her father was chairman of the board of TBA, John Waters. So there's this wonderful connection because some of you know, we've been involved with a lot of projects overseas, and transferring money is a nightmare. And there have been times when we were in Zimbabwe that I had money strapped to my belly to illegally get in so projects could be finished. Well, now, this project, because it has a 501c3, it actually has a bank account in Sevierville. That is a godsend.
Yeah.
But they didn't, Cindy had her hands full. She just needed help. And we appeared, and quietly we mentioned a Rotary, and next thing you know, Susanna's gung-ho. She's amazing. And Susan Daycack too.
Yeah.
And so that's how it happened. We can get money over there, we just gotta get the money.
Thank you all, thanks for sharing. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say one thing that has not been mentioned that I found impressive. They feed 1,300 meals a day.
1,300 meals. a
And
day.
that's out of a very primitive kitchen. And so I find it to be very impressive. And the more that can be done, I feel it would be very useful and very helpful.
For the community, they also feed some of the people in the community.
And we have a club there, a Rotary Club in Nairobi that we partner with. And they monitor everything that's being done. So that's our wonderful architecture of Rotary, this check and balance to make sure we have all the financial architecture in place.
Well, we truly change lives all over the world, and you all taking leadership in doing this, Bob and your town, and all 4 of you, as well as Susan's been very involved as well. So we appreciate you doing that, and as you all know, each week, the speaker sign a book. This week is We Are Better Together.
Well, that's it.
So y'all sign that. Oh, there it is. Thank you. For all the guests, Stephen, Chase, thanks for coming. Please come back again. For all our Rotary visitors, I'll just go around and say with Janice, Greg, Susie, and John, thank you all for coming. Karen, thank you for coming for sure. And Dave, congratulations, well deserved. Margo, the same thing. Thank you for arranging a lot of this. I appreciate you getting Karen here and surprising Dave, although it wasn't that hard evidently. Hey, next week, we will be here, we're having a scholarship and award meeting, and they alluded to, we had a district, meeting, a district conference last week, I think it was last week in Cookville. We received several awards, which I will share with the club next week. I have with them this week, but had a lot of moving parts, and they decided not to do it. So next week we'll do that, and the four-way test will be